Hey everyone, this is Clayton with Your Arc Insurance Agency, and I'm back with another video. In this video, I'm going to go over step by step what you need to do in order to start your own independent insurance agency. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and let's get into it. Okay, so let's get into it. Congratulations on you wanting to embark on this journey of starting your own independent agency. I'm so glad that I did it. And so I'm just here to share some knowledge and give you some tips step by step of what you'll need to do in order to start your own independent insurance agency. This is kind of just look at it as a 50,000 foot view, because there's a little bit more things that you might need to do, and I won't be able to go into detail on every single little point, but these 12 steps or so will give you the information that you need to kind of get the ball rolling, right? So the first step number one that I would recommend if you're looking to start your own independent insurance agency, or even if you're looking to be a captive agent like with the Allstate or State Farm, I would probably say the first thing would be to get some experience. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but yeah, get some experience, learn the industry a little bit, and then jump out there and start your own business. There's just so many things. Insurance is just such a big field, and there's so many specialties, right? You have property and casualty, you got life and health. I mean, there's independent agents that just do life, and there's independent agents that just do health, and there's independent agents that just do, property and casualty insurance. So it's a huge field. It's a lot to learn. I think it's definitely one of those industries that, no one can learn every single thing. You're constantly learning every day. Every deal is different. And so the best thing I would probably recommend first would be get some experience. Work for an independent agency for a couple of months, and then maybe go start your own, or maybe work at a State Farm or a Farmers or a captive agent, learn some systems, the processes, and also the business, and then go out there and start your own independent agency if that's what you want to do. The second thing, figure out whether you want to do the independent route or captive. There's pros and cons to each one. I did the old kind of Ben Franklin and weighed out the pros and the cons of each one. And then for my personality and where I am in life, I decided to do my own independent agency. So I would recommend that you kind of ask yourself the same question. Being a captive agent, there's a lot of positive things with that. You have brand recognition, you have a lot of systems and processes that are already in place for you. And so, pretty much you maybe just have to hang your sign, start making calls, and start writing a business. Versus being independent, you have to build those relationships. People don't know ABC Insurance Agency yet, right? You have to build that brand. So figure out what's the best one for you. And like I said, there's pros and cons to each one, but just ask yourself, figure out what the best way of opening your own insurance agency is for you. Step three, determine the type of insurance that you're going to sell, right? So, again, think about whether you're going to maybe specialize in property and casualty. Think about whether you're going to maybe start off with life and health if you maybe already have a strong life and health background. In addition to that, I would also ask yourself to kind of think about your marketing strategy, right? How are you going to, basically bring deals? How are you going to get deals, right? So think about your marketing strategy, and then think about what type of insurance that you're going to first specialize in, and then branch off to other things like health, all right, or life insurance, or property and casualty, or whatever type of insurance that that you're interested in at that time. So figure out, kind of aim small first, and then scale. That would probably be my biggest advice, and especially when you're starting your own independent agency. Step four, meet with an accountant. So I'd probably say, figure out how to maybe structure your business. Should you start off as an LLC? Should you start off as an S corp? Figure out what your company structure is going to be, and that'll help you figure out for tax purposes and banking purposes and all that kind of stuff. So figure out what the strategy is going to be for keeping your books in line, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And so you don't want to be in a situation where, things weren't filed properly, or, when you file your taxes and all this kind of stuff, or you got to hire employees and you got to pay payroll taxes and all this kind of stuff. figure out, your strategy for bookkeeping, right? So once you've done that, once you met with the accountant, they're probably going to recommend that you start either as an LLC or maybe as an S corp, especially if you have employees. They're probably going to recommend an S corp, but figure out what the right one is going to be best for you. Set up your bank account for your business. You can go to your local bank. There's pros and cons to doing like a credit union and then doing like a big bank, like a Bank of America. If you're trying to keep your costs low, a lot of the credit unions don't charge like monthly fees for your business account. But one negative to that is that, with the credit unions and stuff like that, they're smaller. So they don't have the scope, they're not on every corner like a Bank of America or maybe like a Wells Fargo or, some of the other bigger banks. So think about, where you're going to open up your bank account and for your business and everything like that. Step 7, I know I'm kind of jumping through it, but the next thing I would probably recommend to is when you're starting your own insurance agency, you got to get licensed, right? So find a school, an insurance school that fits your needs, right? That can help you pass the insurance exam, right? So there's tons of schools out there. Some of the top 3 are like Kaplan, AD Banker, Exam FX. Those are some of the top 3 schools that a lot of people use. I used Kaplan when I was going through the process of getting licensed and everything like that. So, figure out what the right school is for you. A lot of the schools, especially nowadays, have online classes and online licensure classes that you can do. So figure out what the best one is for you. I liked Kaplan. It was good. It was pretty straightforward and pretty simple. So I used that one to get my license. Step 8, the next thing you'll need to do is register for the exam. So I registered. I'm in the Washington, D.C. area. I live in the Northern Virginia area. So I registered with a company called Prometrics. And so I think the fee was about $35-$40. On average, I've heard that depending on where you are in the country, I know every state is different, but I've heard ranges in regards to $35 to $50 to register for the exam. So the next step 8, you'll have to register for the exam. I went through a company called Prometrics. They're not too far away from where I live. I went in and I took all my exams there, and then I passed, and now I have my own independent agency. Step 9. So I know it works a lot of different, pretty different in each state. So in Virginia, how it works is that you can take the life and health separately, but the property and casualty exam, you have to take the entire exam in one sitting. You can't split and say, hey, I'm going to do property one day and then casualty the next day. No, it's all in one. So I think it's about 150 question exam. And so you have to do that all in one setting. With the life and health, I actually took those separately. So I took the life first and then I took the health exam. And so, just figure out what your rules and regulations are in that state. And, it's not that hard. It's just one of those things that, if you study for it, you prepare for it, you'll pass. So, and I'll do another video on how to pass the exam, because there are some things that I did a little differently, and it made the world a difference when I went to take the exam. But I'll shoot that in another video. So register for your property and casualty exam, and then your life and health exam. And then once you pass the exam, the next thing that you'll need to do is pay for your licensing fees. So, if you're doing the independent route, obviously, or even if you're doing the captive route, you'll need to get an agency license, and then you'll need to get your actual property and casualty and life and health license and move that under your agency license. And so that's why I mentioned that you might want to set up like your LLC and all your banking stuff in the early part. So that way, you already have your LLC, because they'll need that so that when you file your agency license, you have a tax ID and all that kind of stuff. So the next thing that you'll want to do is pay for your fees. You'll need to pay for your agency license, and then you'll need to pay for your state license. And that's how it works in Virginia. And then once you have that, I'm licensed in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, since we also call it the DMV area. So it makes sense for me to be licensed in all 3 of those areas, or those. DC is not a state, but in those districts, in the District of Columbia and also in the state of Maryland, because we're so close, right? We have so many people that, live in Maryland, but they work in Virginia, or they live in Virginia, but they work in Maryland. So we're so interconnected here on the East Coast. It makes sense for me to have my license in all three of those areas because, I can service those people. And so, so you'll need to pay for your agency fee, and then you'll also need to pay for your licensing fee. Step 11, you'll need to get appointed with an insurance cluster. So if you're already going through the captive route, you won't have to worry about this part. Basically, what you'll have to do is obviously follow the rules or whatever guidelines they have at State Farm or Farmers or Allstate. You'll be able to which makes it a little bit easier because you have to just sell whatever products that they sell, right? So that makes it a little bit easier. But with the being an independent agent, one of the advantages is that I can sell multiple products. I work with multiple different carriers. So I don't just work with, even though I can sell Allstate products, that's not the only company that I can sell. I can sell Travelers, I can sell Safeco, I can sell the Hartford, I can sell National General, I can sell Progressive, I can sell many different insurance companies, right? So that's one of the advantages of being independent. I have the leverage of working with multiple carriers to make sure that the client gets the best coverage and also they get, hopefully the best price. So can't always guarantee that, but I can give options more than just one option. So, and then the other advantage of getting appointed under an insurance cluster too as well, if you're just starting out, then like, let's say I have ABC Insurance Agency, right? If I go and knock on Progressive's door and I go knock on Traveler's door or Liberty Mutual or any other mini carriers that, that are out there, right? They're going to be like, who the heck is this guy? Like, who is ABC Insurance? You haven't written anything. You haven't sold anything. Why should we give you any business, right? Or why should we allow you to sell our products, right? So, I mean, not to say that they won't do that or that they'll, they might not give you that opportunity. But the thing is, by being under an insurance cluster, they already have those relationships with those carriers. And so it makes it a little bit easier for you to get appointed eventually with those carriers. Hey, they see you writing a lot of business. They say you signing up a lot of premium and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll do a direct appointment with that guy. So it's kind of like, the cluster kind of gives you kind of like that little push to help you get started. And then there's also a lot of training and support and, a lot of advantages of being under an insurance cluster because they can open a lot of doors for you and give you a lot of insight to things that you might have not known if you're just out there by yourself. So I recommend, going with the industry insurance cluster. There's tons of them out there. Find the one that works best for you, and definitely sign up with them once you feel comfortable with that company. And you can start once you get appointed with them. You can start selling multiple products right as soon as you open day one. So definitely get appointed with them. The last step 12, get connected to a rater system, right? So obviously you got appointed, right? The next thing for you is to get connected with the rater system. So that way you can start generating quotes because you got your agency license, you got your insurance license. You're not going to be able to make any money if you can't quote. So get appointed and then also get connected with the rater system. We use Easy Links. So I'm able to generate, quotes in a couple of minutes, or even if they go to my website, they can go to yourarcinsurance.com and they can do a quote and we can generate that quote to a customer in a matter of minutes. So, once you get appointed, get that rater system so that way you can start making money. And then just some other kind of side things too as well that you might want to do when you're starting your own independent insurance agency is you need your business cards, you need your website, and obviously you need your CRM system that allows you to stay in contact with your customers. So I highly recommend those steps. Some things you might want to move around that and kind of customize it to fit your own needs, but this is just kind of like a 50,000 foot view of some things that you'll need to do if you're looking to start your own independent insurance agency, or even if you're maybe looking to go the captive route, you would still need to probably do some of these things anyway. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed this format of video. Let me know if you like the face-to-face or if you like more of the slides that I've been doing on some of the other videos that I've done, and I'll definitely see you in the next one. The next video I'll probably do will probably be some tips on how to pass the insurance exam, and I figured out some strategies that you can use to help you pass, and maybe even on the first try. So yeah, we'll get into that next time, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a good one. Take care. Later. Peace.